We have never seen the agonizing death of a man on a cross. Immediately a man was nailed to the cross, he lost all his rights. And if you ever get nailed to the cross, you'll lose all yours too. Paul says, don't trouble me. I'm branded. I bear the marks of a slave. I'm a bond slave of Jesus Christ. I've no will of my own. I've no rights of my own. There's an old hymn established on that very theme. Let my hands perform his bidding. Let my feet run in his ways. Let my eyes see Jesus only. Let my lips speak forth his praise. All for Jesus. All my being's ransom powers. All my thoughts and words and doings. All my days and all my hours. This man is no professional preacher. Preaching is not a profession, it's a passion. Man can't preach with passion, he shouldn't preach at all. There's no breath of professionalism anywhere in the ministry of Paul, and thank God there's no breath of commercialism either. Paul has no fear. Do you know what he did? I would to God some of you fellows would do it. Do you know what he once did? He said, I bow the knee to the Father. And because he bowed the knee to the Father, he never bowed the knee to anybody else. Neither demons or politicians or kings. He stood there, regal. I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Jesus.
We're declared justified. Christ must have died for our lust and pride, so we can clutch the prize. Disgusting guys thrust his side with a customized, busted, rusty knife. He was a victim of mockery, afflicted, socked, and kicked, fulfilled scripture's prophecy. He sat in the penalty box for me. He steadily watches the enemy cautiously. Instead of him telling me cop a plea, the cost is settled, my felonies dropped, I'm free. So hug the highness for his loving kindness. Cause of the cross, now our crud's behind us. They punished him first, he was led to slaughter. A hunger and thirst for his bread and water. You and I are hyped to be crucified with Christ, who resides inside us, shining a truly guiding light. Chapter 35 of Isaiah told me this: the Messiah is the highway of holiness. He dissolved and he cleaned my grossly and rotten tongue. It's for all who believe, the only begotten Son. But you wrap your ears so you don't have to hear. But you cancel fear when he cracks the atmosphere. I pray to the God of Abraham that he can use this blazing jam to maybe save a man.
We're bond servants of Christ
for God's purpose in life.
Spread the gospel.
This squad worships with mics.
Jesus saved.
We've seen his ways.
If you've been redeemed,
then scream this praise. We're bond servants of Christ
for God's purpose in life.
To spread the gospel.
This squad worships with mics.
Jesus saved.
We've seen his ways.
If you've been redeemed, then scream this
I'd rather
praise.
be a janitor in God's house than a prince on this earth. The more I think on Christ, the more that I'm convinced of his worth. Ever since the new birth, things haven't been quite the same. Holy Spirit, please light the flame. Feed the starved and parched. Your word carved in parts as I aim these sharpened darts at hardened hearts with pinpoint accuracy. Unfathomably, God became a man and took the wrath that was actually for me. But he stood in my place. I'm immaculate and free cause he took my disgrace. Lyrical kids who storm tracks, I was once on that. Now I strictly form raps to warn cats about the coming wrath of the Holy One, running the path of his only son, or get cut in half by the smoking gun that's aimed at ya. So behold the main factor, Jehovah fame snatcher, potentate master of sacred data that's making Satan matter. God haters flatter under the weight of Jacob's ladder, cause sin's cause is incomprehensible when caught in the jaws of the invincible. Boss and principle whose laws are sensible. By contrast, our ways are insane. The cross is the pinnacle. While time lasts, we making it plain.
We're bond servants of Christ
for God's purpose in life.
To spread the gospel.
This squad worships with might.
Jesus saved.
We've seen his ways.
If you've been redeemed,
then scream this praise. We're bond servants of Christ
for God's purpose in life.
The lost search for the light.
This squad worships with might.
Jesus saved.
We've seen his ways.
If you've been redeemed,
then scream this praise.
God is closer than he appears, like the objects in the side view mirror. I'm here to provide you clearer insight as I write in the candlelit room of how Christ took flight and abandoned the tomb. It's bad to assume you understand. Imagine your gloom when you see the Son of Man in his majesty suit. His control is absolute. He lets the twilight shine, and his holy attributes stretch the finite mind. Inscrutable, he shines above with his godly essence. Immutable, divine love and omnipresence, infinitely just, which means danger for the lost. Intimate with us, cause Jesus took his anger on the cross.
So let's begin the feast with the Prince of Peace. In the kingdom, we can sing him hymns with beats. His name is matchless. He gave us tactics to proclaim him like that famous Baptist. His throne stands the strong. strongest. He owns the promised land. He's so grand and honest. He broke hands from bondage. I hope man's acknowledged with the chosen lamb accomplished. Let's serve in his likeness. I fervently write this. God put on armpits and lived perfectly righteous. There's a tabernacle in my Adam's apple. Jesus won the war so we don't have to battle.
We're bondservants of Christ
For God's purpose in life.
spread the gospel.
This squad worships with mics.
Jesus saved.
We've seen his ways.
If you've been redeemed,
then scream this praise. We're bondservants of Christ for God's purpose in life. The lost search for the light. This squad worships with mics. Jesus saves. We've seen his ways. If you've been redeemed, then scream